Everyone's got a secret, we're here to spill them. Real people, real confessions every single day. Subscribe Confess Line if you can handle the truth. My sister and I were homeschooled for the first part of our lives. Our mom taught us school lessons from the McGuffey Reader Primers. First published in 1836, the book still had plenty of mentions of our mother England. And so I grew up thinking that I was English. I spoke English after all, and many of our other books were from the same time period, so of course it made sense. We also did not have television or listen to anything but gospel music on the radio, so there was no one to tell me otherwise. We were taught all of the English ladies' finishing school decorum, how to sit, cross your ankles, and how to curtsy. I asked, when will I have to curtsy? Mother said, well, in case you meet the Queen, or when we have guests over for supper. And so we did. Not meet the Queen, but curtsy for guests. For some reason, they laughed. I thought that perhaps my curtsy wasn't good enough. Perhaps I didn't spread my skirt wide enough or bow low enough, but I didn't really know. Our parents, however, seemed very proud. I remember getting into an argument with a neighbor boy who went to a heathen school about how, in my opinion, even though we lived in America, we were English and had to respect our mother country. The boy was making fun of England and English people in a horrible English accent. He asked, do you eat crumpets? Want to come over for tea? I did like tea, so I don't know why he was insulting me with it, but somehow he was. I got upset and started crying and yelled, you don't even deserve the Queen. He laughed at me and I cried even more. Eventually I grew up and learned that yes, we did come from England. But my religious homeschooled culture was hundreds of years behind normal people's view on the American colonies. And now I laugh at myself and how silly it was to think that way. I'm now college educated and not religious at all and find the whole thing pretty funny. Second story. So I was over at my cousin's house helping him remodel his bathroom. His wife was helping us too. He was painting the bathroom and he accidentally got paint on his shoes. He told both of us to go get some cardboard. He didn't want to track the paint out the bathroom and onto the carpet in the hallway. So we both brought cardboard back and he told us to lay it out on the floor so he could walk on it. It took us 3 times to get it right. First, we set the cardboard against the wall and he told us to lay it flat. Then we set the cardboard sideways and the edges were hitting the walls. He told us to set the cardboard long ways. I turned my cardboard long ways and then she began sliding her cardboard under mine's. He got frustrated and said, no, do not put the cardboard under each other. Spread them out and lay it long ways so I can walk on it. We finally got it right. I found this oddly amusing and I started laughing. He noticed me laughing and he said, what are you laughing at? I didn't say anything back. What makes this funny? I can be stupid sometimes when it comes to verbal instructions, even simple ones. And then when I saw his wife making these simple instructions hard, it made me laugh. Third story. Hi everyone, 23F here. I'm on this subreddit here because I was just scrolling through the post for entertainment. So back in like 2018 or 2019 when I was 16 or 17, believe I may have been 16 when this happened, I wanted to make French toast sticks for a snack. I didn't want to microwave them because I felt they were too soggy from being microwaved. I decided to try them in the toaster. A bread slice toaster, not flat toaster. When they were finished, I tried to get them out, but they were stuck in there. So I got the most stupid idea and decided, let me get these French toast sticks out of the toaster with a fork. A metal fork. Thankfully, someone walked in and caught me, my mom, I believe. She let me know it was dangerous. Then I believe she told my brother and he told his friends too. Since I was a smart kid growing up getting good grades, his friends were surprised I would do that. But I now know book smarts doesn't equal life smarts skills. I'm book smart, but do need to learn life skills more better. Also earlier this year I watched and listened to the Dumb Ways to song, and I was very surprised at the part of the song where it says, get your toast out with a fork. I didn't know back when I was younger that using metal utensils to get food out of a toaster was that dangerous. Moral of the story is, don't use metal utensils to get food out of a toaster. Fourth story. Okay, so for context, I am 28F, work in IT for a mid-sized law firm. It's mostly uneventful, but there's this one guy in legal, let's call him Ryan, who's kind of an office favorite. Everyone likes him. He's charming, funny, brings donuts in on Fridays, all that. I always found him a little too performative, but I kept that to myself. Over time, Ryan and I got friendly. Not friends, but friendly. He'd come by my desk and joke around, ask about my weekend, subtly flirt, but in a, this is harmless, right? kind of way. At first I thought it was just office banter. Then one day he made a comment about how girls like me probably have a wild side. I laughed it off. Fast forward 2 weeks, I was out for drinks with some coworkers and Ryan was there. He got drunk. Sloppy, handsy drunk. I excused myself. Monday morning, he comes by my desk like nothing happened, smiling, saying I ghosted him at the bar. I shrugged it off. But that was the tipping point. Something about how casual he was about it made my blood boil. So when another coworker, new girl, maybe 22, came to ask me if Ryan was cool, said he'd been messaging her outside of work after helping her set up her printer, I didn't hold back. I told her point blank, be careful. He likes attention. He pushes lines and then pretends he didn't. I told her he was exactly the type to play dumb if anything serious ever happened. She looked shocked, and not at what I said, but that I said it. Word got around. I don't know who told who. I didn't even care, but by Friday, Ryan wasn't smiling at me anymore. People started acting different. Like I'd broken some unwritten code, but here's the thing, I don't regret it. Maybe I torched my reputation with a few people, but I've been that girl who wished someone had said something. I know I might be labeled dramatic or jealous or whatever other nonsense people use to deflect, but if calling him out helps someone else dodge something uncomfortable, I'll take it. Still. Sometimes I wonder if I went too far, if maybe I should have just let it slide. But then I remember his hands on my waist when I said no thanks and him laughing like it was a game. So, no. I said what I said. Fifth story. I asked my dad to put him up for sale. He read my diary to his class. I was 9 and he was 7. I was so mad I called him a slut. Haha. And asked my dad to make some calls because I wanted him out of the house. That night, it was mainly about how I had a crush on a boy in my class and what color of underwear I wore. Dad flipped through the phone book and said that he found a gypsy camp in the yellow pages, and the leader's name was Happy. He wrote down the number, 551212, and pretended to make calls on the cordless phone. I felt so bad I stopped him, and I never asked that again because I thought it was real LMAO6 story. So a few years ago, I used to work in a veterinary clinic during a routine exam while I was preforming a TPR, temperature, pulse respiration. I felt a gassy fart brewing and knew that it would be one of those silent but deadly ones. I took a quick peek around the back office to make sure that I was alone before letting it out. This particular patient was ready for discharge and I was about to bring the dog out to his owner when the DVM walked past. I thought she had gone to lunch, stopped abruptly, took one quick sniff of the air and proclaimed, "Oh God." Feeling panicked, I quickly joined in on her self-proclamation by saying, "I know, right? Literally, the dumbest thing I could have said." This specific provider actually owned the clinic that I was working out of and decided that the dog needed a bath before we could discharge him to the owner. No charge free bath. An unnecessary bath. Who do you think she asked to bathe that dog?